In spite of anticipating the massive growth of AI,
Artificial intelligence, a lot of people are very scared of that one. We're very excited about it.
Cathie Wood had a disastrous 2022 with ARK dropping 67%. Now, Cathie's fund is up only a modest 30% for 2023, so let's see which are the stocks that Cathie bought in the second quarter in hopes of turning the ship around. 2022 has been really tough for Cathie Wood. While the S&P only dropped 18%, her fund crumbled 67% in one of the biggest asset plunges in history.
Are there leaks in her ARK? It seems like there's no end in sight for ARK innovation.
That's when Cathie knew she had to do something big. And in the second quarter, she opened two massive positions. Firstly, Cathie bought $67 million worth of Meta.
We do like what it is doing, and the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is now prioritizing artificial intelligence as opposed to the metaverse.
After Meta chose to focus on AI, the company saw its free cash flow margin hit 35% in the second quarter, which is some Andrew Huberman morning routine healthy. Secondly, Cathie invested more than $100 million in another AI-focused company, Palantir. Palantir has been built as a massive AI platform that can serve both governmental institutions and corporate customers. I've done a detailed video on what Palantir actually does, which you can see right here. The company surprised investors when it attained GAAP profitability 2 years ahead of the estimates. The net profitability and the AI momentum, in conjunction with solid free cash flow margins, made the stock grow more than 100% in 2023. However, the market's focus on AI doesn't come as a surprise for Cathie Wood. She has been a proponent of artificial intelligence for years, so then, if Cathie was so ahead of the game, how come she still lost billions of dollars? And the reason why ARK has been seriously underperforming is because of the rise in interest rates. The pace at which interest rates grew was faster than any other time in history.
Any long duration asset, and in the world of equities, innovation is going to be the longest duration, were slaughtered.
Moreover, Jerome Powell confirmed that the Fed will keep rates elevated until inflation is brought back to their target.
We are prepared to raise rates further if appropriate.
However, Cathie has a different opinion.
We tend to think we're going to have a harder landing than most economists do.
In this scenario, a drop in interest rates might come sooner, which might potentially make growth stocks explode. Cathie Wood remains invested in what she believes to be the most innovative companies in the world, and she added heavily to her highest conviction stocks. Firstly, Cathie added $63 million in Teradyne. This is a huge company involved in manufacturing and testing innovative products. But when we look at Teradyne's revenue growth, it's actually negative for 2023 because it is a cyclical business. So why is Cathie Wood buying all the stock at a P of 30? Well, Teradyne is one of the two companies dominating the semiconductor testing market. This is a pick and shovel stock for the growth of semiconductors industry, which is forecasted to expand as a result of the massive AI adoption. Next, Cathie put more than $50 million into Twilio. This is a market leader in cloud communication. Although the revenue is only expected to grow around 10% and the company laid off 1,500 people, Cathie still has faith in Twilio as she bought almost every quarter since 2020. And before we see what are ARK's top 5 holdings, we need to look at some serious selling that Cathie Wood did during the quarter. Firstly, Cathie sold $150 million or 25% of her DraftKings position. DraftKings growth continues to be spectacular, with operating losses becoming smaller. As a result, the online sportsbook had one of the best returns of 2023 with a staggering 140% return, so it seems like the selling might be some profit taking after a solid run for the stock. Next, Cathie sold around $330 million of Shopify, or around 36% of her position. Although at one time this was one of ARK's biggest positions, Cathie lost her faith in the e-commerce platform, since the selling came at a 25% loss. But this again might be some profit taking, as the stock grew an impressive 55% year to date. Lastly, ARK sold almost $400 million of Exact Sciences. This company is a world leader of cancer screening and diagnostics, and in spite of the heavy selling, it remains the 7th biggest position in ARK's portfolio. Now, let's see which are Cathie's highest conviction stocks as we look at her top holdings. The 5th biggest position for ARK Invest is Square. Square, also called Block, is a payment processing company aimed at serving the small and medium-sized businesses. But now, these type of companies carry a major risk. You see, they are particularly affected now because they are tied to how much money do people spend, which tends to decrease in periods of high interest rates. As a result, the stock had a rough couple of weeks with a 30% decrease in the last month alone. Still, in spite of the difficulties on the short term, ARK sees Square as a long-term winner in the digital wallet space.
What we're seeing with Block, Square, Cash App, it is reducing the cost of financial services, and we believe could be one of the big winners in the digital wallet space.
Next, the fourth position in Cathie's portfolio is Roku. Roku is a connected TV streaming aggregator that has the biggest market share in the US. As I've previously dumped the stock when management guided revenue 30% lower than the estimates. This shows that Roku operates in a very volatile market, and that's not something you want to own. And the third position in Cathie's portfolio is UiPath. This is an automation platform which will definitely benefit from the increasing adoption of AI. Cathie Wood has tremendous confidence in UiPath's ability to grow, more so after UiPath becoming cash flow positive for 2 quarters in a row. I've made a full video describing what UiPath does that you can see right here. Next, Cathie held Coinbase as her second position. This is the largest cryptocurrency exchange platform in the United States by trading volume. But unfortunately, just like the whole crypto industry, in this period of high interest rates and possible deflation, Coinbase stock has been absolutely crushed, as it is now 80% lower than its November 2021 high. But this hasn't discouraged Cathie, as she has been one of the most vocal proponents of cryptocurrencies.
Coinbase is going to be the flight to safety exchange, no doubt about it.
As a result, she kept buying Coinbase every quarter in the last year. Lastly, the creme of the crop, the number one stock in Cathie's portfolio, is obviously Tesla. ARK has been an early investor in Tesla, and Cathie sees now significant upside from the FSD, as Cathie believes that Tesla will benefit the most from the growth of AI.
Tesla is the biggest AI opportunity out there. It is the biggest artificial intelligence project in the world when it comes to autonomous taxi platforms.
Tesla is ferociously working on its FSD, and achieving full self-driving will surely unlock immense potential. Moreover, the recent unveiling of the version 12 of the FSD offers investors even more confidence that Tesla can someday realize this difficult task. However, in spite of these great innovative companies, let's look for a second at her average buying price. Outside of Tesla, all the stocks from the top 10 holdings are now massively underwater. Please remember that these are very risky stocks which perform better in a low rates environment. However, if a recession doesn't materialize and we have a soft landing, Cathie's portfolio is pretty well positioned to benefit from the expansion of AI. If you feel like you've learned anything of value, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to compare Cathie's style of investing with Stanley Druckenmiller, you can do so by watching this next video.